We're live. We're here.
Yay!
Yay! How is it going, Ferny?
It is going. It is going. I was off today, so I spent most of the day doing nothing and then maybe catching up on some exercise. That's it. That's all I did today. And then show up early for our live and get that completely off or wrong.
You did, yeah. We need to talk about that. We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I'm jealous of you having the day off. That sounds nice. But yeah, thank you for being here and coming on the live with me.
Of course. When you asked, I was like, oh, sure. I'm like, it took you long enough.
Well, you're a little bit more excited than that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I would. Oh my gosh.
Whatever. Okay, let me get the right banners up here. Yeah. Everybody knows I'm the worst multitasker ever made. So yes, welcome everybody filing in. We have Fernando Marron, Psychic Medium. How did I describe you in one of the things I put out today? TikTok extraordinaire. Yeah.
TikTok extraordinaire. I hopefully I'm getting there.
I think so. Well, that's how I found you. That's how I discovered you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I'm usually late to the game because it took me forever to just get on Facebook and doing Facebook Live and then doing YouTube Live, which is where I started. And then I started doing Instagram Live. And every time you have to do a new platform, you have to learn the platform and learn how to do this and do that. And I'm just like, oh, this is too much effort or too much work to just learn a new platform. So now it's TikTok. And it's funny because I actually like TikTok the most, which is funny compared to like doing it through Facebook Live or through Instagram.
Yeah, you do the TikTok very, very well. So, and we will talk about that. So yeah, we got a few people here. Thank you for your questions. This is why I always have water available. I get choked up.
Yeah. Well, now, it's funny. I have a sore throat. I've had like a sore throat for 3 days, and I don't know if it's strep throat. I don't know how I got that because I mask everywhere I go. But my throat has been no bueno. So I've been like sucking on lozenges all day, trying to get things smoothed out. Like, okay, you ready? Right? Are you ready to be used?
Because we talk a lot, so that's why.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, thank you for your question, everybody. We are going to chit chat for a little bit. We're going to find out who this dude is that we have here in front of us, and then we'll get to the questions. So I have prepared a few questions. Let me bring them up. I know, me prepared. All right, so basically, yeah, just if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, how your journey starts, how's it going, whatever you want to share.
God, how did this journey start? That is a very interesting story. My journey, you could say it started back when I was born, because as a kid and as a toddler, dealing with people and dealing with situations that were kind of chaotic and not necessarily the healthiest, I was exposed to human toxic stuff early on in my youth. But when I had moments where things were normal, I would do some odd things. Sometimes I had imaginary friends. I don't remember them, but the people who took care of me would say, oh yeah, I used to sit and just stare at the wall and talk to someone on a regular basis. Or there was my aunt had this like a Queen Anne chair, and she said I would, my cousin who used to babysit me, she said I would sit at the foot of the chair and I would just talk to someone that was sitting in the chair as if there was a man there giving me instructions. So it started really early. I don't remember any of that. I had no idea any of that was happening until I got to my teenage years when I hit puberty.
And then you kind of realized what was going on.
Yeah, that's when everything started to change, because in that age, at that time in my life, I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was teased incessantly, and I dealt with a lot of bullying growing up. And so I didn't really feel comfortable or safe with people, especially kids at school. So I would just spend most of my free time in my room, just doing whatever. I was kind of like a Dr. Doolittle because I had a bunch of, animals that I had been collecting and birds that I was trying to save, and all
Oh,
of
wow.
that. Yeah, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. That was the idea from the get-go, because I was so I cared so much about animals and just helping animals. So I thought I
Mhm.
was going to go in that direction. And then in the 90s, which would be in my early teens, I watched this show called Star Trek Voyager. And on this show, there's a character named Kes, and Kes has these incredible abilities to sense things, to communicate telepathically. She can move things with her minds, and I thought that was really cool. And just seeing her do that was so intriguing for me that it opened my mind up to the idea of like, well, are we, and the way they presented it in the show was different than, the way I was brought up. I was brought up Catholic and in Hispanic
Mhm.
family. So anything to do with this was like, oh no, like this is not good for you. This
Right.
is like, you're going to go straight to hell if you like get involved with this. But that was a bunch of fear and just a bunch of fear mongering control tactics. For myself, when I saw the show, it spun the idea of abilities in a different way, where it
Mhm.
made it normal. And for this character, it was a part of her species evolutionary process to be able to do this. And I thought that was really incredible. And I wondered if we humans had the same potential. You always heard on, oh, but we only use a fraction of the human mind. What could happen if we unlock this like hidden potential? And I was so intrigued by that. And within that first week, I remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder what we are capable of, what we could do. And in that first week, I had, right after I asked myself that question, I had my first experience, which pretty much changed my entire life and actually saved my life, because had I not been prepared for that experience, I would have died. And so that was a whole unique situation regarding a fire. Yeah. So basically, I'll sum it up and make it short. But I used to go to the kitchen quite often because I was a husky kid. I ate a lot. Every few minutes, I'd go find something in the refrigerator, eat, go find something in the refrigerator, eat. And one day, my mom was at work and I was walking into the kitchen. And as I walked into the doorway, I heard a voice in my mind. The voice, though, was my voice. It was my exact sounding voice, except it
Mhm.
just was different. It didn't sound like me. It sounded like a calmer, more like graceful version of myself in my head. But it still was my voice. It sounded like I was thinking these thoughts. And I thought to myself, okay, well, what is this? What's going on? And the voice was just simply like, Fernie, what would you do if this happened? And I had a memory play out in my mind of this fire at the stove and at this cabinets in the kitchen, and I had this whole visual play out. But it was like a memory, but it hadn't happened yet, which is just the weirdest thing in how it played. And I thought to myself, well, what is that? And I was trying to figure that out. And then the voice of course was prompting me, like, if this were going to happen, what would you do? How would you react to a situation like this? So I
Mhm.
came up with this plan of action. I said, well, if this happens, I want to be prepared for this. So I want to put out the fire first. I don't want our house to burn down. So I would. My plan of action was I was going to be in the kitchen. It was going to be full of smoke. Wouldn't be able to breathe. So I need to hold my breath and then go straight forward to the sink, because that's where the hose is at that you can pull out to spray with water. So I would go straight ahead, not knowing what I'm walking into, hit the sink, pull the hose out, spray out the fire, and then go out that door in the kitchen, because that was the only door that we had that worked and allowed us to go in and out of the house.
Right.
All the other there was like one other door and there were windows, but they were all bolted. And I mean, this was a hood in Houston, so this was bolted and like burger bars up the wazoo. So there was only one way in and one way out of that house, which was that kitchen. So a week later, or 2 weeks later,
Nothing.
sorry. Every day I'm like practicing this. No reason why. Every day, go into the kitchen, practice this exact process. At the end of that 2 week period, my mom was at work again, and I went to the kitchen, made myself some breakfast, and our stove was a hand me down, and it was the electric ones where it had coils on it. So when we turned it off, because it was a hand me down and didn't work ideally, you'd have to put your hand over the coils just to make sure that the knob would actually switch it off. So it's kind of a haphazard way of
You think?
fixing, but you're in the ghetto, I mean, you're in the hood, like you take what you can get. And if your uncle, rich uncle gives away a stove, even if it's
Yeah,
broken, you take
no,
the
I
damn stove,
understand.
you know? So I made breakfast, and the fire alarm, the smoke alarm was going off because some halfway thought it was a great idea to put one in the kitchen right above the stove. So every time we cooked
Correct.
something, yeah, it just was going off and blaring. And it was blaring for a while, even after I was done cooking. Took the pan away and then checked the stove, everything, and went to my bedroom. I'm sitting there eating my food, watching Saturday morning cartoons on ABC. And then the voice pops back up in my head and it's like, Fernando, go to the kitchen. It's very calm, it's just very chill, but like authoritative. And I was like, okay. So I decided, let me go to the kitchen.
Mhm.
So no, I was like, well, I'll get up when I'm done and I'll go to the kitchen when I'm done, but I'm not doing it right now. So then I sat there and waited. Second time, hey, Fernando, go to the kitchen. But it was louder this time. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait till I'm done. I really want to watch TV. And I'm starting to have this conversation with his voice in my head. It's just the weirdest thing. And then the third time, it's really loud and it's bossy. And it's like, Fernando, go to the kitchen. And at that point, it's like a parent that gets mad at you. It's like, you're in trouble. You better make this right. So I heard that. I was like, okay, I'll go. Like, I was like so upset and frustrated because I didn't want to get up. And I was being lazy. So I got up, went to the kitchen. As I'm like approaching the doorway to the kitchen, a bunch of black billowy smoke is just like starting to pour into the other room from the kitchen. And you can see the light flashing from the fire. And I was like, and I like freaked out in the moment, because in the moment when you're dealing with something that, even though I had been preparing for that, it's not like I actually thought that was going to happen. I just thought that was just some weird thing I was doing. So when I walked up to the kitchen door and I saw exactly the scene that I had seen in my mind, as if it were memory 2 weeks before, I was like, holy shit, this is what was going on. So I was in shock for a moment because I had to get my bearings and realize what was going on.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, what do I do? What do I do? And in that moment, then it hit me like, hello, you've been practicing for this for like 2 weeks. You know what to do. Like, just do it now. Cause you're going to, okay, cool. So I took a deep breath, went straight ahead to the kitchen, sink, pulled out the hose, sprayed out the fire. And then I went out that back door, and that was it. Kept the house from burning down, saved my own life. And then had this incredible experience that was the beginning of many experiences to come after that.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool that you you listened to the degree of and not really knowing what the hell was talking to you, and you did your practice every day for something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of trust there, and you didn't even know what the hell was going on. So what a cool story.
I didn't even know back then. I didn't even know what a spirit guide was. I mean, I didn't even know what a psychic was or anything to do with like a medium, or I didn't know any of that stuff. For me, this was like a brand new thing when that started.
Crazy. Well, we're glad you did that, and we're glad you're here.
It's like the beginning chapter of my book, because I've been working on a book with a ghostwriter, so that should be out in September, October, I believe. But that's the first chapter, is like what happened and how this all kind of started my career. And I for years after that, even though I started doing readings when I was a teenager, I kind of went a good 10 years without doing any work of this nature.
Mm-hmm.
I was still interested and intrigued in learning and developing as much as I could, but I couldn't utilize my ability to the same level until like years later when I started doing Reiki.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so speaking of those abilities and offering them to the public, so I put your website up here. So just tell us a little bit about what you offer.
Yeah. So I'm both a psychic and a medium. I do both equally well because I'm versatile that way. And so if you want to get like a psychic read, definitely go to my website, or a mediumship session, go to my website. I have options available for different people at different price points, just because not everybody can afford the super expensive session. Some people just need a little bit of help. Some people need a much more thorough type of connection with their loved one in spirit. It just depends on what you're needing. But everything is on there, all of the different options that are available. All of my like podcasts are on there as well. A bunch of I think there's like 3 seasons of podcasts that are on there. I'm working on revamping it now. So that'll be interesting when that comes back out. And then I also have free courses for people who want to learn how to develop their own abilities. There's a lot of people who, everybody thinks they know what they're doing until they actually sit their butts down and like, hey, so tell me about this. Like, what's your experience with this? And most people only can regurgitate or have an idea of what they're dealing with. They don't actually have any experience doing any of it. So for me, it's like, okay, let me break it down and make it easy for y'all so you can understand from the experience perspective versus just like an idea that someone's throwing out there. So the basic course on my site it's on YouTube. basically will help people just kind of get the basics out of the way so that way they can start from scratch without all of the excess stuff that is added on. Because typically, if you're going to train with a specific teacher, that teacher's own personal beliefs and biases tend to be mixed in there with some of the exercises to develop their own ability.
Sure.
So that's there as well. People who like to question whether I'm actually a psychic or a medium or if I'm not. I do something very unique where I try to prove to people that I can do this. And what you'll find on my site, if you go to my site, is I have a dedicated page where any predictions that I've made, and I've made a lot of public predictions over the years, people can see like what my predictions were and what happened right after. And you get to judge for yourself whether you think I'm psychic or not, or whether you think I got that correctly or not. But there's a lot of stuff on there. But I like to own all of it. If I did a good job with predicting something or seeing something that was going to happen in the public, then you get to see whether I did a good job or not. But the proof is in the pudding. And if I didn't do a good job and I missed the prediction or I was wrong, because no one's 100% accurate. We can be accurate up to a certain point, but we're human beings. We're going to misinterpret and misunderstand things. But you can see how accurate I am, and you can base that on the public predictions that I made that were dated. And then you can go back and see the snapshot of it. And they're still up on my social media. So people can go back and see what I got right, what I got wrong, and whether they think I got it or not.
I love that. Yeah, no, I've visited your website and it's all great. And like I was telling people, I found you, or I kind of stumbled across you when I was flipping through TikTok one day, watching, a lot of the folks on there reading are, we'll say, interesting. And I may watch them for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And then I stumbled across you, and there's like one or two other people where you're like legitimately doing like fantastic readings. The ethics are on point. There's no music in the background. It's just like super focused.
Yeah.
So, and I can tell you're legitimate. You're giving great readings. Even when people don't understand it, you're like, well, okay, hold on. This is what I'm getting. And let me tell you again what it is. And then they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I can tell you really trust in what's coming through as well. So I just really appreciate like how you read. So I try to tune in when you're live as much as possible. Segue, please let people know when they can see you go live on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, so I go live every Wednesday and every Friday. It's completely free of charge. There's no cost to it, and it's my way of giving back. Just because I've been so blessed to be able to build and turn this into my career. This is my full-time job. I've been doing this since 2014 full-time. So this has been my full-time gig, and I love doing it. I love not only being able to read for people, showing them how this works, being an example to people, whether they can see how they're progressing along or how they're understanding things themselves. And I try to offer unscripted, unedited clips. So even though we might shorten some if we reload them or we post them, just for time reasons. But for the most part, if you go on live, you can see me do a live reading, and you can see me do psychic readings and mediumship sessions, and people can get a taste of what it's actually like to be in a reading. Most people think an edited reading on TV is a good reading. I'm like, nope, that's an edited reading.
Right.
It's designed to look good for the camera. I don't need to look good for the camera. I just need to do my job and try to do a good job while I'm at it. That's what I try to focus on. And sometimes in the moment when something isn't lining up or a person isn't catching it, or they think that they understand what I'm saying, oftentimes people don't realize what I'm saying, and they're like focusing on something that they're like tunnel vision on. They're like, I really want to talk to my mom. I'm like, I get what you want to talk to, but do me a favor, like put her to the side for a minute, because I need to figure out who this is. And even though you may not want to talk to anybody else, I don't have a choice. I have to acknowledge and connect with this person who's trying to come through first, even if you don't care who they are. And let me get them out of the way first, and then I'll try to get back to mom, because then I can bring mom through. Because some of these spirits, they're just like, they don't wait in line. They just do what they want to do.
True story. I've experienced that. No, but I have noticed you have a pretty good control and understanding of who's there and what you want from them. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to, because I've got quite a few readings started. We actually have somebody in the waiting room that wants to come on live, which I think is kind of cool. I've never done that before.
Awesome.
So we've got Winnie waiting if she wants to come on live with her request.
How do people come on live?
Basically, so I pinned the StreamYard, the same link that you click to come in, and then they go into like a waiting room, so I can see who's there. I don't know if you can see or not, and then I just add them whenever we're ready for them.
Okay, cool.
So kind of cool. So I just want to say hi to everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the moderators doing your thing, putting up all the links. What else was I going to do? Squirrel, right? So I do have enough start comments or questions. So we are going to close the questions. We'll do the spirit led. So basically the ones that call to us, we're not going in any kind of order. And yeah, so let's get started. You ready to bring Winnie on? See what she's got.
Let's bring
All
her
right.
on.
She's ready.
Hi.
Hey, Winnie.
Hey,
welcome.
sweetheart.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Sweet. Let me take this banner down. Hide. Cool.
There we go.
Are you wanting to connect with someone, or did you have a question?
Actually, I'm joining here today just out of curiosity, and I want to learn more from you guys and to see how you connect with the spirit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So did you have a question about kind of the development of it all, or you just wanted to watch us? Watch us work?
I just want to watch you guys sharing your experience.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, while you're here, do you have any questions about anything going on in your life, or is there anybody in spirit that you'd like to connect with since we have you on live here?
I would like to know about my new business development in the near future, in the coming few months, and how it will go.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tap into that. Ferny, if you've already got some, you might work a little faster than I do, so we'll both give you what we have coming through. Okay, Winnie?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Winnie. How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. Okay.
You all have my permission.
Oh, perfect. Oh, thank you for that. Well, question. So you're asking about your business. Now, you're asking about a future business, or are you asking about an existing business?
I think both
Okay.
of my current business and my there's actually a few business opportunities coming up, and I would like to know if it's good to develop the new business and with the new partners.
Yeah. So with the business thing, what I'm getting about the business situation, first of all, I feel like there's going to be 3 separate instances or 3 separate versions of a business. I feel like there's a first version, which is what you've already been dealing with or playing with. And then I feel, and I would say playing with it, because I feel like you're working out some of the details and trying to get clearer about this. However, I feel like with the existing one that you've been working with, I feel like there might have needed to be a partnership, but then it didn't really happen the way it was supposed to, or it didn't really progress in that way. And then what I see happening is, as you're working with the current business model, trying to figure that out, I feel like you're going to produce 2 additional businesses or business models or versions from this current one. And what I would say is the second one and the third one feel better to me than the first one, or the one right now. I kind of feel like the one right now is just not effective, or it's not doing what it needs to be doing. Part of that may just be the strategy that you took in getting it off the ground. I just feel like there's some missing elements to it that it doesn't feel like it's complete. So right now I feel like it's more of an idea that you've just played with, and not necessarily an established, already running business that's been around for years. I feel like it's just kind of like something that you started to formulate. And then these other 2 iterations of this business are going to be what come up. I don't see you making any major shifts with the businesses. I'm going to say probably around September or October of next year, 2024, because I feel like around that time, you seem to be a bit more focused, and you also do have someone who's kind of helping you with getting it going. And I think that is a partnership. And eventually there'll be a 3-person partnership business that you become involved with, which seems to do better. But that's the third version, I think, which is where you'll get to that. But this is going to take a while. I don't think this is going to be like an overnight thing. This might take 3, almost 5 years max before you get to the final version of the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Did you understand that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really connected with the same stuff, Ferny. So I also am feeling the community of 3. So I'm getting this will, if it's not now, it will be also a 3-person collaboration is what I'm getting as well. If you can understand that. September was coming in for me, but I was thinking maybe it was this year. So I almost feel like, but as you were saying, like a year cycle. So I do think there will be some developments for the newer portion of it this September. And I feel like we've got almost maybe a year cycle to where things kind of will get a little more serious. I also sense there's going to be some travel that's involved in kind of either learning some things that we need to, or picking out things, or whatever the case is. There's going to be a little bit of travel involved as well over the next year that's going to come into play. I'm also hearing that the idea, I think, where you want to go with this, it feels to me like it's a little bit of like an alternative to something that's a little more mainstream, or something that's already kind of popular or understood. So I think there's going to be a little bit of like educating people about what you're trying to do that kind of comes into play here. So if you can focus on that through your social media and your email and all those channels, I think you'll be well set up for success when you kind of get it off the ground.
Okay.
Does all that make sense for you?
Yeah.
What's the current business right now? Like the one that you got on the plate right now, what is its focus?
Actually, I'm a lawyer.
Okay. So the question is, what's the current business? Because that's your career, that's your job. But are you asking about a business, or are you asking about your just like going solo as an attorney?
No. I'm a lawyer. I'm a full-time lawyer, but I have this other business opportunities coming up, and that is related to, it's actually highly confidential at the moment.
That's okay.
So
No, that's fine. Yeah. So here's, because the business that you're talking about, that you've got the opportunity that's come up. Are you currently with a firm, or are you just solo attorney?
Yes.
Okay. So this is okay. Got it. So this is because I do not see you staying within a firm as far as your career is concerned. I don't feel like being in a firm is going to be the best thing for you. I actually don't even see you operating in a similar way as an attorney as you've been operating. I actually think you're kind of going to go into this in a little bit of a different direction. I also think there's some politics or some governmental type of stuff that you're going to go into, because it just doesn't feel like, oh, you're just doing law in a traditional way. I feel like it's more to do with prepping some things to present to other individuals, and then kind of getting the information necessary for them so that they can do what they need to do. And so you would be a part of that process to build it up and give them the basically packet of what they need to kind of base what they're going to do going forward. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, I do think, like I mentioned earlier, I saw a 3-person partnership or 3-person team-based business. And so, but you know what? Now there's a business. Like, I know you're talking about an attorney and you've got this opportunity coming up. For me, that's one thing you're going to be doing or engaged with. I see another, like an actual business coming from something that you're going to be working on with 2 other people, because there'll be 3 of y'all that formulate this like other company or business as well, separate from like your law work. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's very accurate.
Well, that's good. Good. Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Winnie, for coming on. And if you stick around, we're going to continue reading for people. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Bye, my dear. All right, cool. So I know we have Joanne that wants to come on. Joanne, if you can hold tight, we're going to go through a few of the questions that have already come in, and then we'll bring Joanne on. All right. Hey, Penny. Hi, Stopher. I would like a reading, hoping to hear from my brother. And Ferny, feel free when you have something coming through.
Okay. I had to open up a chat thing so I could see the chat because I'm. Oh wait, let me see.
I know there's so much going on.
Yeah. I was like, I like had it on like the start thing. I was like, wait a minute, what am I saying here? Okay, so this is for Penny. I kind of want. Would she be open to coming on video?
Yeah, Penny, if you're still here, if you're open to coming on video, there should be a comment start at the top with the link. Sure. Okay. When we see you in there, we will add you. There she is. Hi, Penny. Welcome. Thanks for popping on. Oh.
Hi, darling. How you doing?
Hi.
Let me figure out what I'm doing here. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
No,
yeah, thanks for coming on. So you want to connect with your brother, right?
Please.
Okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first, though?
Yeah, go ahead, Ferny.
Okay, cool. So Penny, so here's what I was getting. So first of all, whenever I connect with them, usually if I am intended to connect to a specific person, and then they whatever starts to come through should fairly fit or connect with what was going on with them. If it doesn't, it means it's somebody else, and I got to figure out who it is. But let me tell you what. Go ahead. All right. Can you hear us now?
How do I get this to stop double talking? Is it because I'm over here in this chat?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, turn the YouTube off if.
Okay. Maybe that's better. Okay.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So usually whenever I'm connecting with a spirit, if it's not the person that you want to connect to first, that's okay. I can get them on the line, but there might be someone else that wants to come in as well. So just FYI, if the information is not connecting or lining up with them, don't worry. It usually means that it's because of somebody else, and that's what we need to figure out. So the first thing that I was getting, so you said you wanted to connect with your brother, right? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I've got 3 males that I'm aware of. I'm assuming that one of them is your brother, but I've got 2 other males as well. But the male that is coming forward for me first is he is bringing me to the side of my head, and I'm seeing my neurological system, and I'm almost feeling something firing off in my body. Did your brother have any kind of neurological reaction or any kind of stroke before he passed away?
Okay. Not that I know of.
Okay, so let me tell you then what, because I was thinking this might be somebody else, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, so I've got a male coming forward first. He's making me feel like there was something going on with his neurological system or his nervous system, and something got fired off or got triggered in a way. It's very similar to like if someone had a stroke or an aneurysm or something that starts in the brain. And it almost feels like because I feel like before they passed, there were some blood pressure issues. And then I also think that they were having, I almost feel like they were either sick or they had an infection right before this happened, because I feel like that may have prompted this. I don't think that was a cause. I feel like that may have prompted this, and then this started to trigger and go into effect as well. Do you have a male who had some sort of like a cerebral event or some sort of a stroke before they passed away? I also want to put this male in a little bit of an older category. So he may not be your age. He might be a bit older than you are.
Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware of.
He's also showing me. Thank you. I want to go to your dad's side of the family. Okay, so let's go to your dad's side of the family. Your dad still alive?
Yes.
Okay, this male, I want to say, is connected to your father. So again, I feel like this male, before he passed away, he might have been dealing with some sort of infection. His blood pressure wasn't that healthy. I actually don't think this male really took care of himself, because he seems like a drinker or a smoker. So he would have had a lifestyle habit that would have been not conducive to being healthy. So he's acknowledging these details. And then he's also acknowledging that there was some sort of event where he had gotten sick or had gotten some sort of infection, maybe cleared that or got through that, and then some other things started to happen right after that. And this whole nerve thing started to kick off. Do you know of a male connected to your dad on that side of the family who passed away and had something like this play out?
Not connected to my dad, but that sounds like my brother.
That sounds like your brother?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was not his real dad.
Okay, hold on.
So, but my dad raised him. So,
do you know if the 5th of a month is significant or the month of May is connected? So they're showing me my birthday. My birthday is May 6th. So for me, whenever I see a number, it's automatically going to associate with a date of significance, whether it be a birthday, death date, anniversary date, either for them or for you. So they're showing me that 5, because usually when I start asking them, hey, is this you? Because I was thinking this wasn't you. And then they show me other information to validate whether it is them or not. Do you know if there's a May connection to your brother, or there's a 5th of a month connection?
No, there's no 5th.
Okay, so there is a 5th. So I'm going to say there is a 5th.
I
so
meant for him. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, and this will be recorded. So if you miss something or if you don't catch something, don't worry about it. This is why this. Sometimes whenever I'm doing a reading for someone in the moment, they're like, I don't think so. I don't know, and then they go back and they have to find out, and they're like, I know what he was talking about. So don't worry, this is recorded.
Right.
Okay, so there's the 5 connections. So the 5th of a month is significant, or the month of May is significant. Now, if I'm misinterpreting my birthday, which is May 6th, then it would be the 6th. But I'm thinking it's the 5th because I was seeing that 5 very clearly. So for me, the 5th of a month is significant. Okay, so coming back to this, because you're thinking this is your brother. So your brother, he had an infection before he passed away?
Yeah, he had an infection
that
he had an infection 4 weeks ago before he died. Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
he didn't die from the infection. It was cleared.
Right.
And
right. Perfect. That's what I was saying. So he got the infection, he cleared through that. And then after that, do you know if he was a drinker or a smoker?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And he was stubborn as hell, didn't like people telling him how to live his life or what to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you also know if he was he found?
Yeah. No, he totally died at home. Maybe I could help you.
Don't tell me.
No help?
Let me keep going. Yeah, okay. Let me keep going because I can figure this out. Okay. So because he showed me okay. Do you know if he had mixed any of his medications or mixed substances before he passed away?
Well, he had hospice, so they probably, yeah, he did. He had 2 different types of, yeah.
Okay. Do you also know if he had just wanted to just stop trying and just to like let go? Because he makes me feel like he was ready to get the hell out of here. He's like, I'm ready
tried.
To get the hell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He tried and then he was done. Yeah.
Got it. And then he takes me up to that cerebral brain thing. Do you know if he was having difficulty functioning or moving any part of his body or the side of his body?
It's very possible because he did fall and he may have broken some ribs. So he may not have been able to have that. That might be what you're getting. Okay,
got it. I wouldn't be surprised if what caused the fall was actually a loss of him controlling his capacity, which is what I'm thinking triggered the fall. Got it. He's all right, sweetheart. He's around you. Again, that 5 is significant. So the 5th of a month is significant, or the month of May is going to be connected. He's also apologizing. He's putting his hand over his mouth because whenever they do that, that's my sign for not having a chance to say goodbye or wasn't told some details until after his passing. Do you know there was information that was not shared right away when he passed away, or if there wasn't that chance to say goodbye?
No, we all got to Zoom. We all said goodbye. He acknowledged that we actually all were there to help send him off. So, but I don't know whether we know he acknowledged because he raised his eyebrows, but so I think he heard us. Yeah.
Okay. So he's doing.
But he's in a different state than us. We were on Zoom. He's in a different state. He didn't get. He meant to come here. Yeah, he meant to get here, but he couldn't get here. He couldn't come to California.
Okay, got it. So you were not even. Okay, got it. That makes now I understand why he would be saying that. Yeah, because sometimes if you're not there, for me, that still is like it's not. Even though you got a chance to say goodbye, that not being there in the moment of his passing would be significant for me. So I'm thinking that's where he was going with that. Yeah, he's okay, sweetheart. Ladybugs are a sign from him, by the way. So you'll see ladybugs.
Oh, a ladybug. Okay. So could you just ask him, because I just want to know, okay, so he passed last night at 11:11, and I know that I'm a medium, but I felt him,
Mhm.
and he said something to me, and I don't know if this was just me wanting to hear it, but he said, I'm here waiting. I'm at this place is like Grand Central Station.
Mhm.
And then he showed me like a golden, an image of a golden like train station. So you feel like, because you're a medium, so you know this too. And it's like, is this really what I'm seeing, or do I want to see this? Of course. So now I'm second guessing myself, but I don't know why he would say it's just like Grand Central Station and show me that.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to know if that was really him.
Yeah. I believe it was him. I think he was just kind of, I mean, because if he just passed away, I mean, he's still in transition. So he's already getting acclimated to being in spirit, but at the same time, he's still dealing with, he's still got a foot in the physical world. So right now is the best time for him to be able to reach out to you or to connect with you, because
Right.
you're in a receptive state. Even those of us who are mediums, when we are dealing with family, it's so much harder than
It's
if we're dealing with
different.
like a stranger. Yeah, because of the level of objectivity. When we care about ourselves, and our own future, there's a level of bias that's built in that will automatically keep you from being very accurate. And then if you read for a family member or a friend, same thing. There's still a level of bias there. There's still a lack of objectivity that you can assume, but you can be a little bit more accurate to with them than with yourself. And then the third level is complete stranger. It's always easiest to be more accurate with a stranger than with a friend or a family member or ourselves. And so what you're getting is, you're getting in this moment right now, you're in that most receptive state. And because you are a medium, you understand how to keep things in perspective when it comes to death and with loss and grief. And because it's part of the job, it's like what we have to deal with all the time. But now's the time for him to be able to reach you, because you are open emotionally and you're most receptive. So I don't think that you were just envisioning that or wanting to see that. I think he was trying to tell you, this is crazy. It's like crazy busy here. There's a whole lot going on. And the fact that it was all in gold just represents that he is going through this process, and it is an elevated state of transition for him and what he's going into. But he's still in process because it just happened.
Because it just happened. And it was
Yeah.
at 11:11. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, that's going to make it. Yeah. What were you getting, Stopher?
I don't have a ton to add to that. I think a lot came through there, but it's interesting. Ferny was hitting on May, and I too was getting a strong connection to the month of May. So there's something about May that he wants to highlight. So I would just say, think about that and see where it fits. I'm also, do you understand, would he have a connection to the state of Tennessee? Do you know? Or would you? I'm getting a highlight
Nashville,
of
because
Tennessee.
he was a singer. Yeah, he was a country singer.
Okay, perfect. So he's highlighting some connection to Tennessee as well. And so he had me write down a bunch of question marks, and he was connecting these to something that was happening either at his passing or right after. So I believe this is his way of coming forward to let you know that whatever the experience you were having, with him coming to you, not to question it, is what he's saying. So I would just confirm that was him, and he wants you to trust that. He also wants me to let you know, when he did pass, he's given me that it was a quick process. It's almost like we understood it was happening, and then he's just showing me like Zoom. Okay.
Yeah.
And he wants to give you a message of to have patience with yourself, and have patience with some of the people that are around you. Because I feel like there is a bit of a long process going on with grieving and some other situations that are going to be happening with the family. Okay. So he's giving you
Would
that.
he already be giving me messages though? I mean, that fast? Because this is the first death really I've experienced, like other than my mom, but that was a few years ago, and I still wasn't able to connect with her until she told me 3 weeks ago my brother was going to die in 3 weeks, and he did to the date. And so that's like, I don't know why it was so fast. Like how, like within 11 minutes, like it was that fast that I knew he was already gone. So how is it? I just never had that experience before. So
would you understand when he was here and kind of in better health, would you understand him to be a fairly good communicator and a bit of a good advice giver?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's kind of
He's a good
telling me,
guy.
I'm hearing like king of advice. So he's telling me that nothing's changing. He's still got these abilities as he's ascended.
He's a king at advice, all right. He wouldn't take his own advice, but he would give it. That's for sure. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and sorry for your loss, but thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I hope it helps.
Thank you. It did.
All right. Good night, Penny.
So do I go off there and go back onto the live so I can watch?
Yeah. You just exit and I'll remove you from the video.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Bye.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
all
when
right,
you're medium and you have
again?
to like when you're medium and you have to like deal with your own loss, it's just it depends on the person. Like these days, unless it's someone extremely close to me, I don't really feel much like I used to when I was younger, just because I'm so used to dealing with death now versus back, when I was just getting started.
Yeah, I don't think I've really dealt with a death since I've been a little more connected.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Hopefully I don't have to for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joanne has been super patient. Joanne, are you ready to come on? Let's get her here and see how we can help. Hey, my dear.
Hi.
How are you? Good. So welcome. What is your question, or did you want to connect with someone tonight?
Well, I wanted to connect with either my mom or my stepdad.
With your mom? Oh, there you are. I was like, I didn't see you. Now I see you. There you are. With your mom. Okay. Do you know there's a connection to the number 7 or the 7th of a month? So either the month of July or the 7th of a month.
No.
So the month of July is significant, or the 7th of a month is significant, and that would be like a birthday, death day, anniversary day, and that would be fairly significant to either connected to her or to you, because it would be like immediate family. Because she showed me that 7. So do you know there's a birthday, death day, or anniversary? Thank you, because she's talking about bad timing. Do you know when she passed, if it was bad timing, if there was another date of significance or an anniversary right around that time?
She died in December, so it was right around Christmas.
Okay, so that would be the reason why bad timing. Okay, so she's acknowledging that, and then she's also acknowledging another date of significance around the same timing, but that would be connected to that 7th date as well. So I'm thinking either around December 7th, there's another date that she's making reference to, or there's another.
December 7th is my son's birthday, and she died December 4th.
That's it. Okay. Because I was like, where's she going with this? So she's just trying to connect or acknowledge the immediacy of like the timing. It's bad timing. I passed her on his birthday. I passed her on, and then acknowledging Christmas as well. So it's just about timing. And she's making reference to that. She also she says she's proud of you. So she says she's proud of you. I'm like, why are you proud of her? She said, because she's a good mother. I'm like, okay. So she wants you to know that she thinks you're a good mother. She feels you're a good mother. She's also, thank you. She's taking me to the lower part of her body and her abdomen. Do you know there was any fluid building up and issues that were starting to affect her in that lower part of her abdomen?
She had a lot of pain in her stomach for years.
Okay. I kind of feel like she might have had. Do you know she had also been having internal bleeding, or there was weird issues that were affecting her blood levels and her iron levels?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you. So the way thank you. Okay. So the way she's just kind of making it out for me, it's like when you think you have one thing and you even try to get that assessed or properly diagnosed, and then that's not fully understood, and then there's some other issues that are affecting her or happening that were not fully understood or that they didn't even realize was to the level that it was. Do you know if there was more than one issue that was happening or affecting her at the time of her passing?
Well, she went to the hospital because she fell. She caught
Okay.
COVID in rehab. So
Okay.
yeah, it was
So
a
this
mess.
is got it. Yeah. Do you know she also started developing diabetes, or she was having blood sugar related issues?
She had diabetes, yes.
Okay, got it. Because she's just acknowledging that her passing, there was a lot of different things happening, but what she's acknowledging is that whatever was going on in the lower part of her abdomen or stomach became more active or became more, I guess you could say aggressive, or started to affect her more in a way where it started to cause other issues within her blood. I almost feel like she had sepsis, or she was starting to develop sepsis at some point, because I'm almost feeling a sense of her blood not being the level it's supposed to be at, or it's starting to become more toxic. So there's something there that she's making reference to. Do you know if she was also like talking about being really cold, or she was having these weird changes with her body temperature and she couldn't get warm?
She sometimes was cold. I mean, she was 90, so she was cold a lot.
Oh, okay. Oh, do you know if she was also talking about this more so with her legs, or the circulation to her legs and their being a lot?
She had lymphedema in her legs.
Okay. What's lymphedema?
It's like you have a lot of water or
Fluid.
swollen ankles and stuff like that.
Got it. She's just acknowledging what she was feeling and what was going on with her system, and that buildup in her system and the toxicity level. And in a way, it's almost like I feel like her liver was not doing what it needed to be doing, and it was starting to struggle or run into some issues as well. She's okay. She's fine. She doesn't want you to worry. Even though she doesn't make me feel like this was an easy ride for her with her passing, but she's definitely acknowledging that she's fine now. She feels so much better. So she doesn't want you to worry about that. She would have never wanted to be this person that was going to be like bedridden for years and years and years and years. And it just started to become more and more of a process for her. So she just wants to say thank you to the people who were there for her during that period. Do you understand that?
Yes.
What were you getting, Stopher?
Thank you, Ferny. Yeah, so to add to that, it's interesting because with December, she was showing me my birthday, which is in December. So it makes sense that there were a lot of events that were happening in that month for you guys. She's showing me a calendar, and there's like all these X's and marks on the calendar. So this is her way of showing me that there were a lot of like appointments and different types of I feel like things that she had to do there towards the end of her time here, where people were helping her like make it to appointments or keeping her on schedule. Would you understand that?
Yes, my brother and I took her to doctor's appointments and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is her way of showing me that she had all this help because she had a full calendar of different things to do, and she wants to come forward and say thank you for helping her with that. She's bringing me to her teeth. Did she have something done towards the end, or was there a situation with her teeth?
I think I took her to the dentist about a month before she passed.
Okay, because she showed me there was something that was either going on in her mouth that was challenging or that she was concerned about. So she was like kind of almost a relief to have that done. So once again, a thank you for helping her with that. She's also talking about somebody in the family, if you can understand that, because she's bringing me to a graduation, and I'm not sure if this is like a graduation that happened like recently, but it's a graduation. She's making me feel like it's somebody that may have graduated from college a little later in life than, let's say, like as a 20-year-old or 22-year-old.
I don't know.
Okay. Would you understand a graduation that recently happened or is about to happen for someone in the family?
The only graduation I can think of is two of my grandsons, which would be her great-grandsons, will be graduating 8th grade in May.
Okay. So that could be it, but I'll leave that with you, that she's bringing me to the graduation as being an important, she's highlighting it. Another thing is she's talking about, and this might be a way that she was remembered or a way that you remember. She's saying, remember me. And then she's bringing me to a park. So she's talking about remembering me at the park. So she wants you to know that she's aware of being remembered at the park. as well?
I have a memorial tree for her that I go to every day at the park.
Okay. She wants you to know that she sees you in these moments, and she thanks you for that. She's with you. She's with you when that's happening. Also, was her house painted, or was something in her house like repainted after her passing? Do you know?
No.
Okay. She's bringing me to something like almost painting. She's showing me like painting over something. And she's almost giving like a blessing or like saying that she's glad that happened. So if there's something that she may have recognized that she didn't like a paint color or something when she was here, she's recognizing that it's been changed or that it needs to be changed.
Okay. All right. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And one more thing. If there was something like, if she did not say like, because it's almost like there was something that she didn't say enough to you when she was here, she's telling me like, I didn't tell you enough. So this would be like an I love you or I'm proud of you. She's telling me that she did not say that enough and that she wants you to know that as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you,
both.
Joanne. All right, cool. All right, so we got a few people in the waiting room. I think we can get like one or two more. I did want to maybe hit up some of the psychic questions real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Okay, if Chaley or I think it's Chaley. If you're still here, could you let us know in the chat? And thank you to everyone that is still here. If you are not subscribed to Ferny on YouTube or on TikTok, Instagram, please do that. And in the description, I put all of his links too. All right, Chaley's here. Cool. So Chaley says, may I please ask if this situationship with Daniel is possibly going to progress? Okay. I immediately, Chaley, when I tune into this, it's like immediately I'm getting like almost like 3 strikes and you're out. So it's kind of telling me that maybe we've already kind of seen some red flags or some bumps in the road, and it's almost like we're the third one. That may be figurative, but it's just telling me that we're kind of already kind of seeing a pattern of some things that may be challenging. So it's almost like I feel some potential for it, but it's like there's a lot of things that we're going to have to like line up. So I would say that it's going to take a lot of energy. So, you know, I would just invite you to kind of sit with that and see if it's, you know, if there's already some bumps or some difficult, and it's almost like communication is challenging as well. So I would just invite you to sit with something that really suits you and see if there's really value in that. But I think there's potential on some different levels, but the communication is going to, you know, improving that will definitely help. And I think there's also some schedule things that are a challenge too. It's almost like we can't get to the same place for it's almost like spending time is difficult, like being actually physically near each other, if you can understand that. So that's kind of what I got. Where you at with it, Ferny?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I got a straight no. I was like, nope, ain't gonna work. My thinking is, I feel like this is one of those messy, like it's gonna become a messy situation because it feels like it's almost this idea of like I'm expecting you to follow through because we talked about this and you made me feel like this was going to be something that we could do, and then now you're going back on that, and then now you're acting in opposite of what you said, and here I am waiting around thinking that this is going to go somewhere and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. And so I keep seeing this like back and forth dynamic between the two of you, and I feel like this is going to go on for a bit. So I don't think it's over yet. I feel like you're still going to be dealing with this person. I think you're going to still be dealing with this person for about 7 more months. After 7 months, it just feels like you've just kind of released it, because at that point it may be fairly clear that he's just not going to I'm so done with Messi. Yeah, I'm not, who wants to deal with Messi? I think you're going to be over it. I think you're going to be so over it, and it's going to feel like you're just waiting for nothing, and you're putting this effort in, and he's not following through with what he needs to. So I don't feel like it's going to be progressing in any significant way. I do think, however, there's another person coming into the picture. Person's name starts with a J-O, almost like might be like a Joey or Jose sounding name, because it sounds like a typical short name like that. But I don't see you meeting this person. I don't see you meeting this person until January of 2025. So this is a whiles away, Mama. So I don't think this is happening anytime soon. But with the other guy, I'm just not feeling like that's going to go where you want it to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a little more direct than I am.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. Like, I mean, yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with it. It just feels like there's so much energy expended, and it maybe just doesn't feel like it quite pays off, or it quite just meets the standards. So, I think Ferny, you were saying that you see it kind of lasting a little bit as far as like until it like completely fades out. I just feel like there's a lot of energy given, and it's never going to fully like give you what you need. So I would just invite you to sit with that and see how that feels. Cool. All right, so let me take that down. All right, so how you feeling? You got time for maybe bring one more person on camera?
Yeah.
Cool. So Sherry, I think you were here we got a couple people in the waiting room. We'll get to Sherry and bring her on. Let me hide that. Hey, Sherry. Thank you for being patient with us. Get a little bit of a lag. How are you tonight? Can you hear us okay? I think we're having trouble hearing you. No, we got an audio issue. No, she's not muted. Sherry, we cannot hear you. So if you can try something, and then we might have to remove you and have someone else come in. She's taking us on a journey.
Yeah, I know.
Show us your wardrobe, Sherry. All right, my dear. Okay, we're gonna bring on Laura. And Sherry, if you're able to get things worked out, maybe we can get you back on. All right, let's see if Laura's ready. Hi, Laura.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying not to for y'all not to see my house because I didn't do dishes yet. So I'm trying to. But anyway, I need to ask a question. Okay.
Okay.
The other girl, she talked about a train. Now I have a friend that she passed away, and I told my daughter, "Don't send me a picture. Whatever you do, don't send me pictures." Right away, she sent me the picture, and I could hear her breathing on the phone, like how she did when she was in the living. I was like, Tina, not today. So then I got this fear. All of a sudden, I closed my windows, and and then it's like, you know what? Not right now. Right now is not the time, Tina. So the next day, I prayed and asked God, to take her in. Well, later on that night, we did a circle, and during the circle, it's like I thought she was still here, like she wasn't crossed. So we started to pray for her, and I'm getting chills while I'm telling you this. I saw Jesus, right? And it's like, took her in, and it's like a lot of stuff was like coming off of her. But then it's like I saw her again in my front porch, but like if she was waiting for something. And when she said train, I've been hearing like the sound of the train, like the old fashioned trains, like when they before they aboard. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And like but she was there. She's still waiting for a train to come or and I say train because that's what I hear. And and also because I'm an artistic medium, so I paint. And I mean I don't know if I did something wrong, or you know what I mean. And it's like when I talk about this, it's like I don't know if I make people feel intimidated, or because it's like when I start talking about like things that I do or things that I see, it's like they either block me or they just like delete me. You know what I mean? I'm like, what did I do wrong? So it's like I don't understand, because I always tell them that anytime I'm around light, like I get like prism lights. I get the light always illuminates around me. And if I'm talking to somebody, it's like the spirits come through real quick, and I'm able to tell them what their family looked like, what they were wearing, and how they lived. And it's like they think I'm like a joke or something. I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know why this happens. So is it because I say too much, or and I'm nervous
Do you
when
wanna?
I'm kind of like talking too fast. It's just I'm trying to.
No, you're fine. You sound like me. You're sounding like me. I talk just as
Yeah,
fast
you
as
know
you.
what?
I
I don't
can
know why.
probably beat
I don't know
the
if
way
you're
I
from
talk. Yeah.
Texas or what, but
The thing
I'm
about it,
originally from Texas,
yeah,
but I live in Florida.
Well,
yeah.
Laura, I want to say thank you for sharing that. I know it's kind of nerve wracking to come on camera, so I appreciate the vulnerability for sure. And I would just say this is, I have to remind myself of this. Not every medium is for everyone, right? So sometimes, I consider myself to have maybe a little bit of a lower energy sometimes, and some people need that. And then you might have like a higher energy, or you might have a point of view that is not for everyone. And I would say just invite yourself to be comfortable with being okay with that. Okay, because it sounds to me like you are very well connected. It feels to me like you are. I think you've actually been in one of my circles before. Um, Maybe you look familiar, but anyway, I would just say, I don't know why people, might feel intimidated or whatever. I don't have the answer to that, but you just have to really trust what you're getting and who you are as a person and a reader and a, intuitive. So I hope that
Well,
helps.
and I'll add a little more to this, Laura. So I
Yes.
completely understand what you're talking about and what you're dealing with when you have people who are kind of pushing back or not really wanting to hear what you have to say. But here's the thing: with any work that has to do with mediumship or connecting with spirits, you always want to make sure that you have clear boundaries with working with people, and that you also respect people's boundaries. And sometimes, even myself, where spirits will show up or they'll come to me and they want me to connect with their loved ones, and I have a very strict policy with spirits. I treat them like regular people because they are regular people without bodies. And so I always tell
Right.
them, nah, y'all need to come back when I'm on the clock, or you need to bring your family to me. I'm not going to go and reach out to your family and put them in a situation where I'm going to make them uncomfortable. So just because a spirit is coming to you doesn't necessarily mean you have to share what they want to give you to share with their family, because if their family's not willing to hear it, then you're going to find yourself in a weird situation where you're just trying to help and they're not ready to receive it. And so what I would say to the spirit, automatically react to the spirit and say, hey, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to deliver this message or to share this with the people you want me to share it with, but you need to bring them to me, because I'm not going to force myself onto other people if they're not really ready to hear what I have to say. So just ask the spirit to send their family to you. You will be shocked and surprised at how fast they are able to get their family to come to you. Every single time I've done that, within a week, somehow something miraculous, something happens, synchronicity happens, where that person ends up coming to me for a reading, or they're sent to me through some sort of divine intervention.
It's not the people that I do the readings for. It's like, okay, for example, we're in a circle, okay, and it's like, okay, look, I don't know where this drawing came from, okay, because I from drawing from stick houses and stick people and the sun. It's like, wow, one day I'm just drawing that, next day being an artist, So it's like my paintings. It's like spirits. It's like I put the paint, they put the picture. You know what I mean? And I'm getting chills. So. But it's like when I discuss something like this, if I join a circle and because I'm bored, I just want to do a circle and just give somebody a reading, And when they say explain a little bit about yourself, and I start from when I was 7, and and this and this and this, and it's like they look at me like I'm crazy, you know what I mean? I'm like, and I tell them my paintings, they like, when I give them, I don't sell them, I give them to whoever I'm giving the reading for. And it's like, I mean, I have some I can show you. And it's like my paintings, they come to life. It's like it's like whatever they're going in that situation, the picture changes along with their situation. And they, and then it's like one day there was one circle that they were talking about an ectoplasma. And they asked me if I ever experienced it. I said, yes. And I told them, and they're like, no, you've never been educated about it. Somebody give you the right information and this and this and this. There is no men in the group, right? So all of a sudden, this girl, she was getting a cocky attitude. And all of a sudden, this man's voice came through real thick. He says, "Why are you questioning her?" And they're like, "Where did that come from?" And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say anything, but I looked to them. I looked to the side, and my TV was off. And it's like I saw this man. He had white hair and a beard. I'm like, I just said like, "Thanks for my back." You know what I mean? Because I was getting aggravated. But it was weird. Because that happened. It's like,
I'll stop you there because we're gonna run out of time. And
Yeah,
we're
Laura,
run out of time with you because
I'm sorry. I can talk all day and all night.
Yeah.
thank
No,
you
for
for
sure, you're
sharing,
fine.
Laura. Yeah, we got to go on to the next person, but thank you for coming on and sharing.
Okay.
Have a good night, my dear. All right.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we
sometimes
have
that
limited time.
reminds me. Yeah, that reminds me of like some of my students when they come into class and they start training and practicing. Some people, I call it psychic diarrhea, where it's basically like there's just so much information that is coming
Right.
through that it's like hard to just take one piece and then process it. And what you have to do is slow down and then start to play with the pieces that you're given and then try to make sense of it, because you have to kind of get it within your perspective to make sense of it and figure out what it means, and then take another piece and another piece. But if you just start going through all of the pieces and not giving each piece that you're receiving and trying to understand it, then you're going to not spend enough time developing and defining what that piece of information is telling you about the situation or about the spirit. So
Right.
that's what I call it. It's like psychic diarrhea. You got to slow it down, girl, because it's going to like overwhelm you.
True. Yeah, I think I come at it from like the opposite, like because I'm a little bit more like my mind is just automatically like methodical and very much like the slow and steady turtle.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to like speed myself up, or I have to kind of like tap into my make a point to tap into my imagination a little bit more. Where I think Laura was on the opposite end of that spectrum, where she's just got so much, like you were saying, the psychic diarrhea, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She needs some Pepto to calm that down. Anyway, so we're going to try Sherry one more time, and then that might be all for the evening. So let's see if Sherry has her audio on. Hi, Sherry.
My
I hear something.
on.
Okay, keep talking. I kind of hear you.
I'm okay. I like a message.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my dear. It's very choppy. I don't know if there's a
2000.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. I'm sorry,
He said,
my dear.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I removed her. I think there's a bandwidth issue.
Where it's like breaking up or in and out.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for the evening. I'm hungry. Well, my friend, I want to that was fun. How do you feel?
Feel good. Feel fine.
Good. Yeah, I want to thank you for coming on. And yeah, if anybody watching, and thank you for everybody for being here in the comments and all the moderators. Thank you so much. And everybody that was able to come on live with us. We should do it again. Are you down to do it again sometime?
Oh, for sure. Always.
Nice. Okay, so before we go, yeah, if you have not subscribed or following Ferny, please do head over to his TikTok, YouTube, and where else you at? Instagram. So what is it? Ferny ESP?
Ferny ESP, at Ferny ESP. And I just got my blue check mark, so I'm like super excited about having finally getting, like, after all this time and all of these readings, getting my blue check mark. So now people can, like, hopefully not fall for the scammers, because there's a lot of Ferny scammers out there.
I saw that. Yeah. So I'm actually working on my check mark as well.
Yeah.
So I think does it take a couple days to get it once you apply for it?
Yeah. Well, I got it because I got it on TikTok. I got it on Instagram and I got it on Facebook. The one that was on Instagram, it was like taking 2 days. And then I went ahead and got the one on Facebook. That was like within minutes. I was like, okay. And then within a few hours, the one on Instagram kicked in as well. It's like, okay, cool. So I've got the check mark for both of those. And then I'm just waiting for TikTok to kind of catch up, because apparently TikTok, you can't request it. You have to wait for them to like give it to you. And usually if you have check marks on other platforms, they will give you a check mark. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like hoping that will be the case. But Yeah, but everybody can like follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, and I do lives every Wednesday, every Friday, free of charge. It's about an hour and a half of readings, and I go through very fast. So I try to get through as many readings as I can, but it's a lot because there's like the text. I mean, you just saw it, like trying to coordinate between the two different, and then I'm on Instagram and on TikTok simultaneously on different phones. I'm like trying to bounce back and forth. Kind of fun.
Yeah. I actually do that. Like when I'm watching it, and everybody, you got to check him out. He's really, I mean, you got a taste of it tonight, but he's really great on his lives. But I'll have you on like Instagram when you're reading somebody on there, and then I'll hop over to TikTok. So it's a lot of fun. So thank you for being here. Is there anything else you got going on that you want to share with everybody?
No, I think I do go on TikTok once every couple of weeks, and I join Amy, and we've been doing joint conversations and topics and all that, and that's pretty cool because people get to ask like questions about different topics that they want to know about, spirit guides, etc. So that'll be fun for people as well if they want to go check it out.
Sweet. All right, everybody, that is a wrap, and thanks for being here. And we're gonna have Ferny on again in the near future because that was a lot of fun. All right, good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.